Accessing library computer data.
Hello and welcome to my review/overview of the Kelvin Timeline faction pack that came out in October of 2018, but was supposed to come out in the summer, but it was delayed. This faction pack introduces two new models to Star Trek Attack Wing with the Kelvin Timeline Constitution class and the Klingon Warbird class. In addition, it introduces the Specialization mechanic, which gives two sides to the cards, kind of similar to Lursa and Baitor from the 2017 starter, but this time it's the same person. This is a really exciting faction pack, so let's get started. So what comes in the pack? You get two Constitution class Kelvin models and two Warbird class models. Both these models are new to Star Trek Attack Wing and look pretty decent for the game. My Connie models, saucers, are a tad bit tilted compared to the rest of the ship. In the movie, they are very clean white. This model is more of a light gray that almost doesn't seem to be completely coated on the model either, but it looks decent from a distance. The Warbird model is pretty decent as well. It is only one color, which is a dark metallic green. That looks good with no deformation on the model. You get a U.S.S. Enterprise / Federation Starship template, a U.S.S. Enterprise A / Federation Starship template, an I.K.S. Amar / Klingon ship template, an I.K.S. Suval / Klingon ship template, two Constitution class Kelvin maneuver dials, and two Warbird maneuver dials. You get two Christopher Pike, two James T. Kirk, two Mr. Spock, two Hikaru Sulu, two Kang, two Core, and two First Officer ID tokens. You get effect tokens for James D. Kirk, one for Spock, one for the I.K.S. Amar, one for Kang, and an Overwhelm effect token. Other tokens include a +2 Admiral ID token and 14 shield tokens. The missions included are a Lightning Storm in Space, which I think is very loosely based on a combination of the attack on Vulcan and the final battle against Narada, and the Ancient Weapon, which is based on Star Trek Beyond. The final thing in the pack is a reference card for the Specialization cards. The first card in the pack is the named Kelvin Constitution class ship, the U.S.S. Enterprise, which is dual faction Federation and Mirror. The ship has 4 attack, 1 evade, 6 hull, and 4 shields. Standard Federation action bar of evade, target lock, scan, and battle stations with 1 tech slot, 2 weapon slots, and 2 crew slots for 28 points. The ability is End Phase. Flip 1 Specialization card equipped to the ship and target 1 face-up damage card beside the ship. Flip the target damage card face down. This ship also has a forward 180-degree primary firing arc and a 90-degree secondary firing arc, giving it almost 360-degree fire with a secondary weapon. These new Kelvin Constitution class ships are a beast with a 6 hull, which is 2 better than the main Timeline Constitution classes, and it has 1 more attack die. I'm not a huge fan of the ability as it doesn't repair the damage. You just no longer have the critical damage affect your ship, which in cases like Warp Core Breach can be a good thing, but I really wish it repaired the damage rather than just flip the critical face down. Still a really good ship though. Next we have the generic Kelvin Constitution class, which is still dual faction, loses shield and a weapon slot. Same action bar with the evade, target lock, scan, and battle stations for 24 points. I love the generic Kelvin Constitution. Even with losing the shield, you still have 9 durability with a ship that can fire pretty much 360 degrees with a secondary weapon, and you lose the weapon slot, which is the right slot to lose, and coming in only at 24 points gives you plenty of space to throw in some really nice upgrades. And now for the maneuver dial for the Kelvin Constitution class, in a word, absolutely fantastic. You lose the hard red 3-turn from the prime timeline ones, but you still have the 2 red reverse, and now you have a 5 white and a 6 red straight maneuver. This might just be one of the best maneuver dials in the entire game. It is fantastic. The second ship is the U.S.S. Enterprise A, which again is a Kelvin Constitution class ship and is dual faction Federation and Mirror. Same stats as before with 4 attack, 1 agility, 6 hull, and 4 shields. Same action bar with evade, target lock, scan, and battle stations. Same slot layout with a tech, 2 weapon, and 2 crew slots for 28 points. The ability is action. If the ship has 1 or more destroyed shields, flip 1 Specialization card equipped to the ship. Repair 1 shield on the ship. Even though it is an action, I like this ability more than the U.S.S. Enterprise, as you're actually fixing your ship by adding a shield back. And if you throw on any number of cards like Montgomery Scott that comes in this pack, you can give yourself up to 2 repairs every 3 turns. And if you throw on a captain that gives you a free action from your action bar, then you're not really losing that action economy from taking the action of the ability. The generic for the U.S.S. Enterprise A is the same. It even uses the same picture, slightly recolored, but still a fantastic generic. Again, same maneuver dial. Still fantastic. The first Klingon ship is a new class of Star Trek Attack Wing with the I.K.S. Amar, which is a Warbird class and dual faction Klingon and Mirror. It has 4 attack, 1 agility, 4 hull, and 3 shields with an action bar of target lock, battle stations, cloak, and sensor echo. The slot layout is tech, 2 weapon, and a crew for 21 points, with a forward 90-degree primary firing arc and a 45-degree secondary firing arc within that primary firing arc. When this ship suffers damage to its hull, once per game, if this ship is cloaked, this ship may make an attack with its primary weapon. So essentially, if this ship is hit when it is cloaked and it is not killed, it can make a free attack with its primary weapon once per game. The ability is a good ability, but it is disappointing that it is only once per game. I would prefer if this was something like place 3 time tokens on this card instead. But I do really like these Klingon ships that have a native battle stations action on its action bar, and for only 21 points, you have a pretty good fighter carrier as well. So while I do think the ability could have been tweaked a little bit, it is still a good ship. Next, we have the generic version of the Warbird class, which loses a shield, the ability, and a weapon slot for 17 points. This might just be the best and cheapest fighter carrier there is in this game, and you can run a really good swarm with them, with some fighters. The maneuver dial for the Warbird is a pretty generic dial with the 3 red turns, the 4 white straight, and the red 3 come about. Not great, but not bad. The second named Warbird is the I.K.S. Civil, which again is a dual faction Klingon Amir. The same stats as before with 4 attack, 1 agility, 4 hull, and 3 shields. Same action bar with target lock, battle stations, cloak, and sensor echo. And the same slot layout with a tech, 2 weapon, and a crew slot for 21 points. When attacking, if this ship is cloaked and not in the primary firing arc of the defending ship, this ship rolls +1 attack die and the defending ship rolls -1 defense die. I like this ability a lot more than the I.K.S. MR, as it is potentially every turn and rewards you for flying really well. Crew Captain Lursa that gives you a free cloak or sensor echo can be really good on this ship to give you that extra bit of maneuverability, or use Chang 7. I really like this ship and ability. The generic's the same, they use a different picture. Again, a really good fighter carrier for really cheap. And again, the maneuver dial is the exact same. The first captain in the pack is Christopher Pike, who is Mirror Unique, Skill 8 with an Elite Talent slot, is Dual Faction, Federation, and Mirror, and costs 5 points. Add 1 crew slot to the ship's upgrade bar. Action. Flip up to 2 Specialization cards equipped to the ship. I don't mind Christopher Pike as a captain. The Skill 8 is nice. The adding of the crew slot is always a good thing, as there's tons of crew for the Federation, and even Mirror that you could use. The action to flip 2 Specialization cards isn't great as a captain ability. 3 of the Specialization cards in this pack are captain and crew, so you're kind of limiting what you can do there. And for an action, it's not the greatest ability, so he's an okay captain, but I think he's better as an admiral. The admiral side is the same, except for that he gives a +2 to captain skill, and that is a fleet action to flip the 2 Specialization cards. I much prefer Pike as an admiral compared to a captain, as a number of the Specialization cards are captain and crew, so if you already have a captain equipped to one of your ships, it kind of limits what you can do with the rest of the Specialization cards. The second captain we have is James T. Kirk, who is a Mirror Unique Specialization captain and crew. The captain side is Skill 7 with an Elite Talent slot, costs 4 points, and is Dual Faction, Federation, and Mirror. Activation phase. Disable this card. Remove 1 time token from all crew upgrades equipped to the ship. He is very much designed to work with the rest of the crew from the pack, which most of them work by putting time tokens on them. So unless you're running a ship with at least 2 crew that use time tokens, I really don't think he's worth running, because you got to spend an action to re-enable Kirk. So unless you have the 2+ crew, you're kind of wasting your action economy. The crew side of James T. Kirk is activation phase. Place 3 time tokens on this card. Increase the captain skill of the captain equipped to the ship by 2 this game round, and perform a battle station action as a free action. I quite like this ability, but I think at 4 points, this ability might be a bit overpriced, considering you can only do it every 3rd turn. But being able to perform a battle station action is always a good thing. So I don't think he's a bad captain, but I think at 4 points he might be a bit overpriced. Maybe if it was 2 time tokens, but I think 3 is just a few too many. Next, we have the captain side of Mr. Spock, who is again a Mirror Unique Dual Faction Federation Mirror Specialization captain and crew. The captain side is Skill 6 with an Elite Talent and costs 4 points. When attacking, this ship may add 1 battle station token. If there is a scan token beside this ship may add 1 hit instead. I really like this captain, especially if you throw on Prime Crew Spock, which converts battle stations to hits with a scan token. Valtane, which with a scan token you can do 2 rerolls. Or Beta Hirogen, which gives you an extra scan token if you take a scan action, which really lets you take advantage of cards that use scan tokens for the rerolls for the quality. So I really like this captain. The crew side of Mr. Spock is activation phase. Place 3 time tokens on this card. Increase the captain skill of the captain equipped to the ship by 2 this game round, and perform a scan action as a free action. Similar to Kirk in ability, except that it is a scan rather than a battle station, I do think I like this a bit better, as then you can combine it with Captain Kirk to remove one of the time tokens, and you're still able to take advantage of some of the cards that you would use with Captain Mr. Spock, to get the good scan stacking and quality from your dice. The final Federation captain we have is Hikaru Sulu, who is again a mirror unique dual faction / mirror specialization captain. He is skill 5 without an elite talent slot and costs 3 points. Action: perform a 1 white left or right bank maneuver and place an evade token beside the ship. I really like this captain. The ability to perform an extra maneuver is always a good thing to get out of an opposing arc or to get your ship into a better arc if your opponent takes a maneuver you weren't expecting. And the evade token is just icing on the cake, so I really like this captain. The crew slide of Sulu is when this ship would suffer damage from an obstacle or minefield token. Place 3 time tokens on this card and roll 3 defense dice. For each evade, cancel 1 hit or critical. I think the crew side of Sulu is pretty situational, as he's only really useful if you're playing a scenario or OP where there are obstacles / mines, or if you know your opponent will be running mines in their build. So he's a good crew for those scenarios, but otherwise I would leave it at home as he won't be useful most of the time. The first Klingon captain is Kang, who is mirror unique, skill 6 with an elite talent slot, dual faction Klingon and mirror, and costs 4 points. Planning phase: if an opposing Federation ship is in the ship's primary fire arc, increase the captain skill of this captain by 2 this game round. A pretty situational captain in which you have to be facing a Federation ship for his ability to work. At skill 6, he is a decent captain, but if you aren't facing a Federation ship, I don't think he's really worth it. And at 4 points without being able to activate an ability, I think it would be better to leave him at home. The second Klingon captain is Kor, who is mirror unique, is skill 7 with an elite talent slot, dual faction Klingon and mirror, and costs 4 points. Setup: choose an opposing ship. When attacking the chosen ship, this ship may roll +1 attack die and convert up to 2 battle stations into hits. When defending against the chosen ship, the ship may roll +1 defense die and convert up to 2 battle stations into evades. This captain is absolutely amazing, especially in a scenario where only facing one ship, or even an OP or casual play. Just great all around. You just choose the strongest ship in your opponent's fleet and you get some excellent quality without needing to take an action. Highly recommend this captain to anyone running a Klingon or mirror ship. The first crew we have is mirror unique specialization Leonard McCoy, who is dual faction Federation mirror and costs 3 points. The first side of him is when a captain equipped to this ship would be disabled, place 3 time tokens on this card instead. When a captain equipped to the ship would be discarded, place 2 time tokens on this card and the captain that would be discarded instead. So this version of him works pretty well with the captain side of Kirk, or if you want to run Blood Oath or want protection against your captain being disabled or discarded from an opposing ship. So I don't mind this card. Probably not something you're going to want to take every time. The second side of McCoy is setup. Place 1 crew upgrade with a printed cost of 4 SP or less face down beneath this card. Activation phase: flip the crew upgrade beneath this card face up and equip it to the ship even if it exceeds the ship restrictions. Place 3 time tokens on that crew upgrade. This card is pretty thematic as it kind of mimics the first movie where he sneaks Kirk onto the U.S.S. Enterprise. I think this card can be pretty useful as if you only have 3 points left for your fleet build, but you really want a 4-point crew upgrade, this is one way of getting him onto your ship. Also, you can hide a crew upgrade for your opponents, so if they have something like Jennifer Sisko, it can't be disabled right away. Next, we have mirror unique Pavel Chekhov, who costs 2 points and is a specialization card. The first side of him is activation phase. Place 3 time tokens on this card. Remove 1 auxiliary token beside the ship. I really don't like this card, considering that Chekhov that comes with a Reliant that allows you to clear an auxiliary when performing a wipe maneuver without placing time tokens or disabling him. So I can't think of a reason why you'd run this version even if it's 1 point less than the Reliant Chekhov. The second side of Chekhov is combat phase. Place 3 time tokens on this card and target an opposing ship within range 1 to 2. Remove 1 scan token beside the target ship. Again, I'm not really a huge fan of this card. It is so situational that your opponent has to take a scan token, and it's not even range 1 to 3, it's limited to range 2, so I can't recommend running either side of Chekhov. The next crew we have is mirror unique Montgomery Scott, who is dual faction Federation mirror and costs 3 points and is a specialization card. Planning phase. Place 3 time tokens on this card, repair 1 hull on the ship and flip this card. I don't mind this ability to repair a hull, especially on a higher hull ship like the Kelvin Connie. That can probably take a couple of hits once the shields are down. The second side of Montgomery Scott is planning phase. Place 3 time tokens on this card, repair 1 shield on this ship, and flip this card. I would recommend that you start Montgomery Scott on this side, as you're probably going to need to repair a shield before you repair a hull. I think he's worth the 3 points to potentially repair 2 damage to your ship, 1 hull and 1 shield. You're probably only going to get 1 use out of each side. That's 6 time tokens to clear, but I still think he's worth it. The last Federation mirror crew we have is Specialization Mirror Unique Nyota Uhura, and she costs 3 points. When this card is flipped face up or after the ship suffers critical damage, discard all face up communications failure damage cards beside this ship's ship card. I don't think this is a very good crew card, as the chance of actually getting a communication failure is pretty low, so to have 3 points just on your ship in case you get a specific critical is not worth it to me. The second side of Ahura is activation phase. Place 3 time tokens on this card and target this ship or a friendly ship in range 1 to 2. Increase the range of all upgrades equipped to the target ship by 1 this game round, max range 3. I think this side is a little better, as then you could increase the range of some of the upgrades that only have a range 1 or a range 1 to 2, but it does not work with something like Disruptor Bombardment, as the entire effect cannot exceed range 3. Again, a little better, but I don't really see a huge reason to run this side of her either for 3 points. The next crew we have is Koth, who is mirror unique, dual faction Klingon and mirror, is limited to Klingon ships and costs 2 points. Setup: place 1 disable token on 1 crew upgrade equipped to each opposing ship. I really like this crew. This can certainly hamper your opponent's ability to reach an objective and may make them a bit more cautious until they undisable their crew. Combine this with something like Jennifer Sisko and you can disable a ton of upgrades before the game even starts. So I really like this card. The second crew is Klingon First Officer and is limited to 1 per ship, is Klingon and mirror and costs 4 points, and again is limited to a Klingon ship. End phase: once per game, discard the captain equipped to the ship. Perform an attack with his ship's primary weapon. This card becomes the captain with a captain skill of 4. This card might not actually be too bad to use on a generic Klingon captain. You discard your generic Klingon captain, you get a free attack, and then you get a boost in captain skill, kind of at the end of the turn. While I don't think he's an everyday card, it might be useful for getting that extra killing blow at the end of a turn. I'm never a big fan of cards that discard captains, but I'm sure there are a lot of strategies that work around that. Next crew is Klingon Guard, who is again limited to a Klingon ship and is dual faction Klingon mirror and costs 2 points. Combat phase: discard this card, place 1 evade token beside the ship. You're essentially paying 2 points for an extra point of durability. While I don't mind cards that do this, I think at 2 points he might be 1 point overpriced, and at least with the Warbird classes, they are limited to 1 crew upgrade, and I think they're a better crew that you could put on the Warbird class rather than Klingon Guard. The last crew we have is Klingon Patrol, is dual faction Klingon Amir, is limited to Klingon ships and costs 2 points. End phase: if this ship is not in the primary fire arc of an opposing enemy ship within range 1 to 2, flip the ship's cloak token to its green side. So this kind of works like advanced weapon systems, but it's cheaper and is a crew slot. I really like this card as it does not require disable or time tokens and allows the ship to stay cloaked when a ton of Klingon upgrades only work when their ship is cloaked. So this is certainly worth running if you're going to run a cloaked Klingon build. The only elite talent that comes in this pack is Overwhelm, which is unique. Must be equipped to a Klingon ship with a Klingon captain. It's a Klingon elite talent and costs 4 points. When attacking, place 2 time tokens on this card. This game round, for each other friendly ship that attacked the defending ship this game round, this ship rolls +1 attack die and may convert 1 blank into 1 battle station. This card works a lot better on a lower skill captain and a bit of a swarm fleet, so you can get that bonus from the attack. Keep in mind the rule of 3, so you're only going to get +3 attack die. But with the Warbird class now having that battle station token, you can at least guarantee yourself get 1 hit if you take the battle station action. And I really like that it's a time token, and at 2 time tokens that is. If this was early in the game, this would probably be a discard and not be very good. But even at 4 points, this is one of the very few good Klingon elite talents. The first weapon upgrade is Full Spread Phasers, which is unique to 1 per ship, must be equipped to the Kelvin Constitution class, is dual faction, Federation, and mirror, and costs 4 points. When attacking with the ship's primary weapon, the ship rolls +1 attack die, or the ship may perform an additional attack with its primary weapon from its secondary fire arc with -1 attack die. This is a really good weapon for the Kelvin Constitution. 5 attack die at range 2 to 3 and 6 attack die at range 1. Or you can make an attack from your secondary arc with 3 attack die, essentially giving the ship 360-degree firing arc. And it doesn't even need time tokens or a disable token. This is a really good weapon upgrade and highly recommend running this card anytime you want to run the Kelvin Constitution class. If you really want to run the Kelvin Constitution class a lot, it might even be worth buying 2 of these packs just for this card. It's that good. The second weapon upgrade is Advanced Long Range Torpedo, which must be equipped to the Kelvin Constitution class, is dual faction, Federation, and mirror, and costs 3 points. The attack value of this weapon upgrade is the ship's primary weapon value +1. Attack: spend the ship's target lock token, place 2 time tokens on this card, and target an opposing ship within range 2 to 3. If this attack hits, every other ship within range 1 of the defending ship suffers 1 hit. While this torpedo upgrade is not as good as the one that came out in 2017 with the new starter, it's still better than 99% of the torpedo upgrades we've gotten before with the variable attack. Not that it makes that much difference as it is only equipable to the Kelvin Constitution class, but I still like what they're doing with that. And if your opponent is running their ships in tight formation, you can do some extra damage that they can't roll defense die against. While not the best torpedo upgrade in the game, certainly one that would be worth running. The next weapon upgrade we have is Disruptor Volley, which has an attack value of 5, must be equipped to the Warbird class, is dual faction Klingon and mirror, and costs 3 points. Attack. Disable this card and target an opposing ship. This attack deals no damage. If this attack hits, place an auxiliary token beside the defending ship. If the defending ship is an attack squadron, discard 1 attack squadron token or AST for each uncancelled hit or critical. This is an amazing weapon upgrade for dealing with fighter squadrons, as you can destroy more than 1 AST with an attack. And now that the Warbird class has battle stations, you can actually get some quality from your dice. Kind of an expensive weapon just to do an auxiliary to a ship, but at 3 points, it might be worth it if you know your opponent likes to run fighter squadrons, or there's a scenario that has them, like Sacrifice of Angels, I believe. So it might be worth running just in case. The last weapon upgrade is Photon Torpedoes, which must be fired from the secondary arc, is dual faction Klingon and mirror, and costs 3 points. The attack value of this weapon upgrade is the ship's primary weapon value plus 1. Attack. Spend the ship's target lock token. Place 3 time tokens on this card and target an opposing ship. If the defending ship has no active shields and is not cloaked, convert all battle stations into criticals. I really like these torpedoes, as I think they kind of work how they should be, with you getting some really good quality when your opponent doesn't have shields. And the fact that they can also be fired at your opponent from range 1 is certainly nice as well. I also really like that the attack value is dependent on your primary weapon value rather than a set value, which kind of makes them more useful across eras of ships rather than limited to a specific era. The first tech upgrade we get is Portable Transwarp Beaming Device, which is mirror unique, is a mirror tech upgrade, and costs 2 points. When a crew upgrade equipped to this ship would be discarded, discard this card and target a friendly ship at range 1 to 3. Instead, place 1 time token on the crew upgrade that would be discarded and equip it to the target ship, even if it exceeds that ship's restrictions. I like this card. There are a ton of mirror crew that require them to be discarded for them to be used, so this kind of gives you that second opportunity to use them again, and at 2 points, it's not a bad value to be able to reuse some of those cards. The tech upgrade is Integrated Future Technology, which is a mirror unique mirror upgrade and costs 3 points and is unique to 1 per ship. You do not pay a faction penalty when equipping Romulan weapon, Romulan tech, Borg weapon, and or Borg tech to this ship. Setup. Place 1 tech upgrade with a printed cost of 4 SP or less face down beneath this card. Planning phase. Discard this card. Flip the tech upgrade beneath this card face up and equip it to the ship even if it exceeds the ship's restrictions. This card kind of works like Quirk, so you can get a tech upgrade that costs 4 points when you only have 3 points left to spend, and there's some really good Romulan tech upgrades, like an Infinite Generator or Mines that you could equip without paying a faction penalty to your mirror ship. I kind of wish you wouldn't be paying a faction penalty against Borg upgrades, but even at 3 points, the rest of the ability is pretty decent. The last card we have is Klingon Cloaking Device, which is mirror unique, must be equipped to a Klingon ship, is dual faction Klingon or mirror, costs 2 points, and is limited to 1 per ship. When defending, if this ship is cloaked, convert 1 blank into 1 evade. End phase. Place 3 time tokens on this card. Flip the ship's cloak token to its green side. This is a really good card for a cloaking Klingon ship. You get some really nice quality from being able to convert a blank into an evade. As we all know, evade dice are pretty finicky at the best of times. And then you get to fire and stay cloaked for the next turn. Really good card, and at 2 points, it might be underpriced. So what are specialization cards? Specialization cards, or SCSs, are two-sided cards featuring that symbol. This card contains additional rules that pertain to SCSs. During setup, choose which side of your SCS will start on. If an SC is flipped while disabled, it remains disabled. If an SC is flipped while it has time tokens, the time tokens remain on it. If a SC that has an elite talent upgrade equipped to it is flipped, the elite talent remains equipped to it. Players only earn fleet points for the SP cost that was paid for a SC during fleet construction. When flipping an SC, that SC remains equipped to the ship even if it exceeds that ship's restrictions. You may not flip a SC to its captain or admiral side if it would cause you to have more than 1 captain on a ship or more than 1 admiral in your fleet. I think this is a really good idea to be able to get 2 abilities on some of the cards. Kind of lets you decide which one works better for your fleet build. This kind of works similar to Lursa and Baitor from the 2017 starter, except for those were different people. These are the same crew upgrade, just with 2 different abilities, and sometimes a crew and a captain. Thank you very much for watching my review / overview of the Kelvin Timeline faction pack. I decided this time to put all of the upgrades in one video for a faction pack rather than split out like I did with the Ferengi, so this video is kind of long. I would highly recommend getting this pack. There are a ton of good upgrades in this pack. It introduces 2 new models to Star Trek Attack Wing. You get full spread phasers, which is an excellent weapon for the Kelvin Constitution class. Klingon cloaking device, which it might be worth getting 2 or 3 of just of that card if you like to run Klingons a lot. And the generic ships are also really good. As always, if you disagree with me on card or find a better use for one, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, you can like, share, and subscribe. You can find me on Facebook at the Airrack channel, and I shall see you next time.